All right, guys, we're going to just do a little review on converting between decimals, percents, and fractions, okay, because you're really going to need to be able to do this in, well, both 4A and 4B. But anyway, remember the word of refers to multiplication. So if you say you want to find 50% of 200, you have to multiply 50% by 200, okay? Of course, you've got to convert that percentage to a decimal, and that's what we're going to look at now. So depending on the direction in which you're going, if you want to convert a decimal to a percent, then you're going to multiply by 100. And then if you want to convert a percent to a decimal, you're going to divide by 100. Some people like to remember this by saying, if you multiply by 100, remember the scientific notation, you'd move the decimal to the right 2 places. Okay, so like this one right here. Okay, well, we want to convert it to a percent, so 0.07. You multiply by 100, and that will give you 7%. You have to add the percent symbol. But you could also look at it like, 100 is the same as 10 to the second, right? So you move that decimal to the right 2 places, because this number's got to get bigger if you're multiplying it by 100, and you get 7% there. But if you are going in the opposite direction, you're starting out with a percentage and you want to convert that to a decimal, then you would divide by 100. Okay. Now dividing by 100 will just move the decimal to the left 2 places. So we know there's an understood decimal point behind the 4. So if I move that to the left, I'd end up getting 0.84. Okay. So 84% is the same as 0.84 as a decimal. Think about 50%. If you can remember that 50% is the same as 0.50 or 0.5, then you should be able to get these. All right, so what about converting a fraction to a decimal? Well, this one's pretty straightforward, guys, because a fraction is really just a division problem. So if I want to convert 3/8 to a decimal, I literally divide 3 by 8. And you can do this in the calculator if you want. 3 divided by 8, I believe is 0.375. Okay, so that would be my decimal. And then, if I wanted to convert this to a percent, I'd multiply by 100, and it would become 37.5%. Well, yeah. Let's keep going. Okay, so what about converting a fraction to a percent? Well, you're going to go through the same process. You're going to first convert it to a decimal, and then convert that decimal to a percent. Okay. So for example, this number 4 here, it says convert 5/6 to a percent. And then it says round to the nearest tenth of a percent if needed. Well, you can divide 5 by 6 in the calculator, and you're going to get this, 0.83333, and the 3's just go on forever, okay? So it is now a decimal. I need to convert it to a percent, so I multiply it by 100, which will move that decimal to the right 2 places, and it'll become 83 point. And then you just have that infinite string of 3's, okay? Sometimes you can even write it like this, 83.3, and put a little bar above that 3. That just intimates that this 3 repeats forever. Now, as far as rounding this to the nearest tenth of a percent, well, it is now a percent now, okay? So 83.3333, the tenths place is right here. There's a 3 behind it, so I don't round up. I keep it the same, so it becomes 83.3%. Okay. All right, this is kind of a short little review here, but and then example 5, we're doing both here. We're given this fraction 8/13, and we want to express it as both a decimal and a percent. And then it says round to 2 decimal places if needed. So I may have to use my calculator on this one, unless I want to work it out by hand, but I'm just going to say 8 divided by 13, and let's copy this out to a few decimal places. 0.61538, okay, probably be enough. All right, now as a decimal, if I round this to 2 decimal places, that means the hundredths place. There's a little 5 behind it, okay? So this will become 0.62 as a decimal. Now, to go to a percentage, you need to keep working with this original decimal and then multiply by 100. So if I now multiply by 100, that's going to give me 61.538. And it is now a percent. And I'm glad I carried it out this many decimal places because it says round to 2 decimal places, so the 3 is the second decimal place, so there's an 8 behind it. I had just enough digits to tell me how to round. So that means this 8 will bump that 3 up to a 4. So as a percent, this will become 61.54% rounded to 2 decimal places. Okay. All right, guys, well, I hope that helps. Just a kind of a brief review.